Alright, hello and welcome back to Trophy Chronicles, where today I'll be taking a look at the Platinum Trophy for BallxPit. A vampire survivors like mixed with brick breaking mechanics and some farming mechanics that released last year, and it was off my radar. Somebody mentioned it, and instantly it sounded good. I absolutely loved Vampire Survivors. Like, it's a contender for my top 10 games ever. And consider that I played that last year or the year before, the amount of nostalgia and childhood memories I has to compete with to anything to scratch my top 10 that isn't like 20 years old, that's impressive. So when I heard that mixed with Brick Breaker, which is another franchise, like, or genre, I'm not gonna say I like when I'm playing it, but I'm always kind of interested in more. I loved Arcanine back in the day, and that's a great game, but they usually don't have enough going on to capture me, and or for at least for very long. But this seemed like the perfect mix, and when I went in and played it, it was fine. But then I played it more and oh, got better. This is a fantastic game. This like it's such a perfectly addicting blend of two things that are just not represented. Well, okay, the Survivors kind of game, they're I'm not gonna say they're really huge. Like Vampire Survivors is huge, but they're not exactly a thing I've heard about much happening with. Brick Breaker games, you might see one for €2 on the PlayStation Store or something every once in a while. Just garbage, but in terms of like good games, it's really underrepresented. It's not literally a brick break, but it's the same kind of style. You shoot out your balls, it bounce around the screen, hit the enemies, and mostly it's an idle style game where you will collect upgrades, upgrade certain skills, and just continue up the screen till you get to the top and fighting a few bosses along the way. This will allow you to unlock new characters, new upgrades, new skills, new abilities, which can be more unlocked in the farming part of the game, which we'll do after the level. We're going to place down a little piece to gather wood or hay or rocks. And again, as you go on, you get like characters, which you have to place down the building to get the character. You get things that give you more money, more resources, more skill points. So like one, you get to just when you every time you upgrade, it gets more strength, which it says limitless. I'm not sure how literal that is. And it's as well. It starts off small. Eventually, gets to a point where it's just massive. It's like 10 times bigger than you start. It's the difference between this and this is almost overwhelming. But that's the basic loop. Do level, get money, get some resources, and again, as you beat bosses, you get like blueprints and stuff to get new characters. Go back do the farm thing, which will get more powerful for the levels, which will get you more stuff for the farm, which gets more powerful for the levels, and it just keeps going like that. As you unlock more and more, it goes on to make it more and more complex. Eventually, getting stuff like new characters which do separate things. Like some are stronger, some of them are faster, some of them like start off with certain weapons. Twin characters, turn-based game characters, and even one who just plays the game for you, which is very useful for some of these trophies, which we will get into soon. Honestly, there's really not much to say beyond that. It's the basic loop that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and more and more. So I guess right out of the way, might as well just get into the trophy because there's nothing else I can say about the game that isn't going to be covered there. So this game has 64 trophies, so 63 in a platinum. And instantly, just again, right off the bat, I think it was like 32 of these maybe, are summed up very simply. Beat the level. I think there's 8 levels in the game. The first 8 are for that, then there's like 8 to beat the level with 10 characters, and then another 16 to beat the level with every level with these characters. Right off the bat, just beating every level with every. I don't think it's every character, there's more than 16, I'm pretty sure. That's half of them, right there. And honestly, the rest are pretty basic too. It's going to be a short one, thankfully. Another batch of them are simple things like varying weapon combinations, which simple enough. Just upgrade. Some are just like fusing weapons. Some are combining, like getting two specific weapons to the top level and then combining them. And I do really like how this is done because you have an encyclopedia too, and it. I think it does this probably the best I've ever seen. So you'll have like you'll have like two ball weapons. One that shoots vertically, one that shoots horizontally. I know I got those mixed up. Combine them, you get a gold one that shoots both ways at the same time, that shoots lasers. But if you didn't unlock it and you went to the vertical ball, it would say something like uh, one upgrade or like 6 upgrades not unlocked. So if you're looking for stuff at the end, and it's with the passive ones, it's usually one upgrade. So if you had like 4 upgrades you hadn't unlocked yet, well, go to the one that shows that you move faster, and it will say one passive skill or upgrade on not unlocked. So if you only have 4 things left, 2 of these are going to combine into what I need. And it's at the bottom too. So if you want to know, check. If you don't, just guess around. It doesn't force it on you, but it's there if you need it, and it's perfect. I really love it. It does it so well. So at the end of the game, I had like 8 things left, or like 5 things left to unlock. All I had to do was look at this one. Oh, that doesn't have one. Okay, these are the 10 weapons I have to choose from. Let's mix and match. I think I did have to look up one because it was like you had to combine 4 things, and in a way it was really obvious too, but unfortunately, I did have to look it up. Another good huge chunk of the trophies are collect a certain amount of wood, money, hay, whatever it was. I think it was hay, and then collecting a certain amount of these things in a single harvest. Which is just when you shoot your characters out to bounce around in the farm, they hit all things. That's how you upgrade your weapon or your houses and stuff. Most of these you probably just do it at the end. You're like, alright, let's just sort the farm out to be a very specific way. That's why mine looks like this, because I was like, okay, I need to get like 900 coins in one go. So let's just block off everything up here and have everything that gives you money condensed down here. And honestly, I think the rest of them can condense down to unlock the building. And I'm pretty sure every one of these are gotten either from getting certain other buildings and characters or just beating certain bosses a certain amount of times. So that's how it works. It can be tedious. The first level you unlock by beating with 2 characters, then 3, then 4, then 5. It can be a bit annoying and dragging, but because at least with Vampire Survivors, when you start it off, you probably go a couple of minutes, die. Then you go longer, die. And because you were doing the level more times and getting better and better, as time went on, you unlocked more enemies. So it didn't feel the same every time because you were unlocking new things. You were going different directions. In this, it's bottom to top with the same enemies and I don't know if the same patterns, but it's the same thing every time. It feels the same and it is the same. With Vampire Survivors, you were unlocking new things, going different ways, and it really helped add to it. And because you just moved in that, you can go different directions. It felt like you were, and there was like stuff on the map to unlock. It felt like you were finding new things. With this, it really is the same every time. It's just bottom, top. So in that regard, it can drag a little bit. But thankfully, again, because you have the character who plays again by himself, most of these trophies can easily be helped by just get the character who plays by himself, bring in another character to be with him that you haven't unlocked all the levels with, boom. Have fun. And of course, there is a trophy to unlock everything in the encyclopedia, so all of the characters, all the enemies, all the weapon upgrades, all the passive stuff. But again, some of those you will unlock just if you decide to go my route of just letting the 2 characters play by themselves. They'll do things for you. And I would say if you are having trouble with the game, that's a great way because they will do stuff you wouldn't fully expect or that you might not have known to do. And it like watching the character play him by himself actually did help me play the game better. But yeah, in terms of that, there's really not a ton to say. It took a while, which I'll get into in a sec, but it really was a compelling, fun game. Will I go back to it if there's more trophies added or more DLC and stuff? I'm not sure. I feel like I'm ready to move on, but maybe I will. It's one of those games I remember when I played golf with your friends, I remember saying something like, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it until it was gone, until like a week after it was gone. I was like, wow, I miss playing that. I mean, it's just throwing that on a few times every time I wanted to do it. With this, it was more like, oh, I'm getting to the end, I'm going to miss this. But the second it was done and I turned it off, I had no desire really to go back. Not no desire, but just nothing. I didn't find myself like missing it, I guess. But yeah, let's just get into the rankings, I suppose. Fun factor. I said right at the start, this is an incredibly fun, addicting game. And I absolutely had a great time with it. It really is just, you'd be surprised how much it'll drag you in. You might think you're going to go on for 1 or 2 games, but then you're there for like 2 hours later, and then you turn it off, and you're back in 2 hours later. It's like, oh, just another one or two, and then you're there for another few hours, and it's a great game to have in your rotation of games if you like to have a few at the same time. Because you can just turn it on, have one game for 10 minutes, and you're back. So, I think it's no surprise it's not to the level of Vampire Survivors for me, which, to be fair, most things won't. That was like a 10 out of 10 for me, but it's close enough. I'll give it an 8. Difficulty in a game like this, it's a tough one. It's like when you're calling like Pokemon difficult. It's like how difficult because you can always upgrade stuff. How difficult can any game be if you can upgrade and do better? If you can level up twice and beat the thing, can you really call it difficulty? But compared to some other games like this, I do think there was at least a decent challenge if you weren't. You can always get past again by upgrading, because, like I said, some of these upgrades they say are limitless, and while I don't know how literal that is, could I really just play this game for like the next. If I play this game for a year straight, could I just go into level, have the ball facing like at the angle, hitting the bottom of the screen, just like, and just kill everything without moving in one hit? Who knows? I wonder how. I need to look into that. Has somebody like played this game dedicated for like the last 6 months or whatever it's been out and just completely broken the game? Who knows? But even when you thought you're really powerful, it could kick your ass. And some of the because the enemies actually do move around in this, they'll launch projectiles at you, they'll poison you and stuff. So, and the bosses can be decently fun and throw some things at you would not expect. So I'll give it a 6. I think 6 is fair. Time, it actually shocked me. I was looking at the time because I was getting some footage before this start. I was like, oh, let's check how long I played. It was like 20, 30 hours, maybe 34. That'd be my weirdly specific guess. 80 fucking 8. Wow. I'm actually shocked at how long that was. I I I thought it was like a third of that at most. I guess that it really shows that time flies when you're having fun. It really just went by in a flash. And for an overall score, for the platinum journey, I think, considering that 90% of the trophies, I feel like we're just do the level again and again and again and again. And every level with every character, come on, was that really necessary? And the levels, they're long. It's like you'll be going along for a while, go, and then you see you're like at the 30% mark, and you think, oh god, it's going forever. That does drag down the platinum experience a bit. So I'd say overall score here, I think a 7 is fair. A bit more variety for the trophies would have been cool, but I'm not even sure what they could have done. Yeah, it was a bit of a short one because, again, what do you really say about this? While it does get more complicated and big as you play, the loop you get at the start is the same. You'll die at the start, put something into the farm, get a bit stronger, and you'll go back in. It's the same thing, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be like a 40-step journey. But I'm definitely glad I played it. It's the first Devolver Digital game I played in a long time where I was like, wow, this is incredible. The last one being Hotline Miami. And it's where at the time I was like, anything Devolver Digital I will pick up. But I know I think they're more of a publisher, but whatever. Not the point. But yeah, have you played BallxPit? What did you think? Are you on board, or maybe you think it's way better than Vampire Survivors? Maybe you just like the BallxPit or the BallxPit, the Brick Breaker mechanic a lot more. It's cool to have it represented. It's again outside like crappy €2 games on the store. There's not a lot of it. Now you know what we need. We need you know that the art game in Bully slash Canis Canem, the one where it's like a big square and you have to go around and cut like segments. Somebody needs to make a big one of those. 'Cause, again, just like Brick Breaker games, the only time you see them is when you have weird, yeah, when you have those what do you call them? Softcore porn games where, oh, you beat the level, here's a girl in a bikini, whoa. But they're free, so again, it's a genre I love, so I'll always pick them up. To my everlasting shame. But again, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you for the next one. See you for the next platinum.